Hey everybody, this is Tyler again. How you doing today? Today we're going to do a test of our VEVOR Suitcase diesel heater in our outside camper's cap. We're going to do it in the tent portion, and then we're going to do it in the whole portion with the bottom popped up. We're just in my driveway because I just had a baby 2 weeks ago, so we can't quite go camping just yet. So we're going to test this out so that when we're ready to go camping, we'll know that we're not going to freeze to death in the night. It is 25 degrees outside. I'm not sure if you can see that from here, but we have the little thermometer. It's 25 degrees outside. It's cold, and we're going to get this thing, see how long it takes it to get to 70 degrees. 70 is warmer than I'd like to sleep in, but just kind of as a test, we're going to get it to 70 degrees just to see how long it takes. First step, we're going to set up the actual tent. All right, the tent's popped up. We have some awnings, but we're going to zip these things. Actually, they're still zipped down, so we're going to leave them zipped down. That way it holds the heat in a little bit better. Now we're going to set up the heater, which I want to make something very clear because some people commented on my other videos. It's very important. So this is the carbon monoxide detector. This comes with an extension wire. That way you can extend it and run it into where you're sleeping. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to turn this on, run it into the sleeping compartment. Because if you're falling asleep and you don't have a carbon monoxide alarm, you could die in your sleep. So make sure, that's like something I want to make a real big point about, is make sure you use carbon monoxide detector. That way you don't have any issues, especially when you're going to bed. I know you want to be warm, but you know it's worse than being cold? Being dead. So make sure you use one of these, especially when you're going to sleep with the diesel heater. Super important. We're going to set that up. I'm going to show you how to do it. Easy enough. But we're going to set this thing up. If you check out my last video, I have my 3D printed mount that I made. We're going to use that again today. This is the hook that hooks in under the diesel heater handle and then goes up there. All right, next step is we're going to hang the actual heater using the 3D printed mounts that I made. It would work with any T-slot device as long as you use your own hardware. I have the 3D file up on the internet. I'll put the link in the description, and also you can buy it if you'd like. I have it up on Etsy, but that's how we're going to be holding this up onto the camper today. So we're going to put that up now. Perfect. That's up there. We have the exhaust running out. The exhaust is running away. This is the actual intake. So you just want to make sure that the exhaust is far enough away from the intake that you're not sucking in your exhaust and just pumping into the tent. That's part of the reason why you need to run a carbon monoxide detector. It's super duper important. Run a carbon monoxide detector. If you don't do that, you could just be pumping fumes into your tent and you could die in your sleep. So make sure you run a carbon monoxide detector. Super duper important. This comes with one and an extension wire. You just got to remember to turn it on. But I'll show that once I have the actual tent set up on the inside. We're going to put the intake ducting on. I mean the outlet ducting, sorry. That up there. All right, now that that's up there, I'm going to jump inside and start setting everything up on the inside. From the inside, we need to open this tent up, and then I'm going to zip this flap up slightly, that way we can get in here. All right, now from the outside, we can see that we need this, which is our carbon monoxide detector. That's super duper important. Power outlet, which is the actual power for the diesel heater, because you need to run power to it, which we're going to be having a power station we're going to put in. And then last but definitely not least, this, because this is what we actually need to heat the place. So let's close this bad boy back up. And then we need to take down this flap too, because we want to make sure we don't just have a screen holding the heat in. Flap sealed. We have the air vent in here. The wires that we need when you get the power. We also have the carbon monoxide detector, super duper important. And we're ready. We have power here. Plug that in to the actual power station. I need two hands, hold on. So that is plugged in. So we have the thermometer there. GoPro recording the thermometer to make sure we get the temperature right. Let's fire the diesel heater up. I'm gonna turn it up all the way for start because we want to make it as quick as possible. All right, so this is the carbon monoxide detector. You just hit the button, red light's on. If carbon monoxide gets crazy, that'll let me know. That's super duper important. Don't forget that step. All right, this is our setup. It's clicking away. Started off at, it was 25 outside, but I guess it's 27 degrees in here. It's a little bit warmer in here. We got this thing running on full blast. All right. Sorry if the framing on this looks really bad because I can't really tell with the GoPro. But we've been running it for a little over a minute. We're just starting to get hot air now. Still at 28 degrees. Using 100 watts of power. I have a stopwatch basically here to kind of keep track of time. Make sure we know how hot we're getting. And I'm kind of excited to be in here because it's cold outside. And I'd much rather be in here than out there. So it's been about 3 minutes. It's 34 degrees. 3 minutes. But yeah, we're already 34 degrees. We've gone up 9 degrees in 3 minutes. That's pretty good. Let's see if we can get this thing up to 70. What's up, everybody? We're coming to the 5-minute mark. We are currently 43 degrees in here. Oh, 45 degrees in here. This thing is warming up quick. So it's been just over 5 minutes. 45 degrees from 25 degrees, 20 degrees. We're gonna see if we can get this thing to 70. It's heating this thing up nicely. We're at just over, almost 7 minutes, and we are at 52 degrees now. After this, I'm gonna rewatch the GoPro footage to kind of get a super accurate time on everything. Maybe I'll even make a graph. We'll see. We'll get fancy with it. But yeah, we're at 54 degrees at about 7 minutes. It's just climbing quickly. We're gonna get this thing up to 60 degrees at full blast. I mean, no, we're gonna get this thing up to 70 degrees, full blast, and then we're gonna turn it down to level 1, just see how it maintains for another 10-15 minutes. I have a feeling this thing's gonna get to 70 degrees before 15 minutes, because we're halfway there, time-wise, and we've already climbed 30 degrees, so yeah, we're gonna keep it going until we hit 70 degrees, then we're gonna turn it down, just kind of maintain it and see what happens, as if, like, say you just toasted this place up, got to your campsite for the night, run it on full blast to get nice and warm, and then you go to bed, you want to turn it down to level 1. That's what we would do. So that's going to be a test. Just about 8 minutes, and we're at 59 degrees, almost 60 degrees. Another 10 degrees to go. All right, 10-minute update. We are at 68 degrees, so we're just about to hit 70 at 10 minutes. And I'm pretty sure I started the timer just after actually starting the heater, so it ran for a little while without pumping out heat, and like a minute or two while it was on the warm-up process. So it's basically 10-12 minutes from when you hit your start button on your diesel heater to when your tent is 68 degrees. There you go, 10 minutes, 68 degrees. And you can see the thermometer's over there and the outlet's over here. So it's not like I have the outlet pointed right at the thermometer or anything like that. This is much warmer than I'd ever want to sleep in. I like sleeping in the cold. I just want it to be warm enough so that I'm fine. So I would never really let my tent get this warm, but that's okay, just for testing purposes, we figured we'd do that. All right, there we go. So at 10 minutes, 40 seconds, we've hit 70 degrees. So now, we're gonna grab this thing, and we're gonna set it down to level 1. That way, we have an idea of kind of how it maintains the temperature. But also, don't forget, we have our carbon monoxide detector here, making sure we're safe up in here, because that's super duper important. All right, now we're getting a little too warm, we're 72. So we're gonna pop this thing down to level 1, run it for maybe another 10 minutes or so and just see what it does. All right, we've been running the heater. We've been running the heater on level 1 for about 2 minutes now. It's currently 75 degrees in here, so I guess the temperature is still climbing or the thermometer is just taking a second to catch up. Either way, it's still pretty warm in here. We're gonna keep it going for a little while longer, see if it kind of maintains or if it still keeps climbing. Because if I was sleeping in here, it's turning into a sauna. It's 75 degrees in here, and it's 25 degrees outside. So we climbed 50 degrees in just 14 minutes, pretty much. This thing's super effective for camping in this. The next batch of outside campers that are coming in will have insulated liners, but I don't even think that's really necessary because no, we're 77 degrees, so we're still climbing. So I don't really know if those insulations really necessary with the heater like this. After this, we're gonna do a test of the entire actual cap. So I'm gonna pop the floor up and we're gonna heat the whole back of the truck to see how that does and how the time works on that. 77 degrees in here. It is hot. I'm sweaty. And it's been still under 15 minutes. 77 degrees. Jeez, yeah. We're on level 1 right now. So we're going to keep it going until we hit 20 minutes just to kind of see what it does. So we run the diesel heater for 20 minutes. The first 11 minutes we were running at full blast. We went from 25 degrees to 75 degrees in those 11 minutes, which is insane how fast this thing heated up. And now we have it on the lowest setting. We've just been maintaining temperature. It hit 77 degrees and now it's just holding solid at 77 degrees. We ran it for another 10 minutes after 11 minutes. So it's been running for a total of 21 minutes. And it's nice and toasty in here. Let me give you a shot. It's going to be backwards because I'm in selfie mode, but 77 degrees at 11 minutes. If you were to get to your campsite, pop your tent up, from the moment you press the on button on your diesel heater to the moment it's 75 degrees in your tent will be in under 15 minutes, which is pretty impressive. And it's a 25-degree day outside. It's pretty cold. So that's pretty good. So we're going to move down to the bottom part of the tent portion, which will take a little bit longer to heat up because it's larger and less well insulated, I feel like. We're going to lift the sleeping platform up and we're going to see how long it takes to get the temperature up to 70 degrees in the actual back of the truck. That way, if you were kind of just hanging out in your truck and wanted a warm place to be, instead of just hanging out in your tent where you really just have to lay down, we're going to do a test on that to see how long it takes for that to get warm. That's next. All right, now that we tested the heater on the top portion of the tent, it made it to 75 degrees in about 12 minutes. We're going to test it in the whole cap. So we're going to lift up the floor of the sleep platform and make it so that it heats the top tent portion and the bottom as if you were kind of just hanging out in the actual truck, but you didn't want to go to bed. Kind of give it a test to see how long it'll take it to get to 70 degrees there. And then same as we did last time, we get it up to 70 degrees. We're going to lower the setting and see if it maintains the temperature. 30 degrees in the back, we're going to fire this puppy up and see how it does. Just to give you guys an idea, the sleeping platform is up. That's how we're going to be heating this. Heat is still going to be coming in from there. Our power station and everything up there. We're going to leave that platform down, but we're going to close this thing up and get it ready to turn the heat on. Turn it up to level 10. There you go, we're fired up. All right, so now we are inside of the actual outside camper's cap. We have the sleeping platform popped up and the whole tent is kind of open, as you can see. We're gonna be in here. We're gonna use this to kind of test how it goes. We are at 30 degrees. We have the old GoPro pointed at the thermometer. That way we can get a super accurate idea of how it changes. Pointed into the tent. We also have our carbon monoxide detector. Super, super, super important. Always run one of these. It's super dangerous if you don't. For the love of God, if you do one thing with a diesel heater, it's run one of these. Do it. But yeah, we have that up there. Power station is going. Diesel heater clicking away. So yeah, we're going to start running the stopwatch and see how it goes. So the heater's been running for about 2 minutes. It's pumping out hot air. Usually it's about a minute to 2 minute run time before you actually get any hot air coming out of it. It's still 30 degrees in here. It's going to take a little bit for this heat to catch up with the cold in here. But I just want to let you guys know that in the description, I'll have the 3D file for the mount that I use to hold the diesel heater on the side of the camper. It should work with other diesel heaters with this kind of sideways handle. And it should work with any sort of T-channel mounting system. You just might have to get your own specific hardware. And this will still work on those campers. It's a super easy way to pop your diesel heater on and off. That'll be in the description. And you can also purchase it and I'll print it and send it to you. I have a affiliate link in the description for the diesel heater itself. If anyone wants to purchase one of these. I did a test in my garage. If you want to check out that video, it raised it like 10 degrees or something, but I have a pretty big uninsulated garage, so it wasn't super effective in that case. Much more effective for this. I got it for camping, so this is kind of where it shines. Hopefully you're enjoying these videos, trying to get some informative stuff out there for everybody. If you like it, please subscribe, give it a like, do whatever. more people watch it, the more people subscribe, the more I'm motivated to do this. I'm going to keep doing it either way, but it makes me feel good when I know that you guys are watching it and getting something positive out of the videos. It's super appreciated. We've gone up a couple degrees. It's 32 degrees now, and it's been running for maybe 4 or 5 minutes. It's going to take a little bit longer for it to heat up in here. Like I said, like you saw before in the video, the top heated up to 75 degrees in 12 minutes. That's insane. So I'm hoping maybe before a half hour, maybe 20 minutes or so, this will get to 70 degrees. We'll see. All right, 10-minute update. We are currently 43 degrees in here. So we've gone up 13 degrees in 10 minutes. It's starting to get warmer in here, that's for sure. This is a much larger area to heat than just the tent and much less sealed because of the sides of the beds, there's good air gaps, and just aluminum panels, really. It's not really anything that has any insulation. All the aluminum panels are cold on the outside, so it's going to take a while for it to heat up. But yeah, 10 minutes, we're at 43 degrees. We've climbed 13 degrees. We're going to keep this going until we hit 70 degrees. 15-minute update with the sleeping platform up, heating the whole cap. We're at 50 degrees. So we've gone up 20 degrees in 15 minutes. 25-minute update, it is 57 degrees in here. 57 degrees in here. We've been running this for about 25 minutes. We've gone up 27 degrees in 25 minutes, almost a degree a minute, I guess, if you want to figure it that way. Gonna keep it running. We're at 57, so we're gonna see if we can get it to 70. It's like 22 degrees outside, so we'll see if we can get it to 70, and if we can, we're gonna hold it there to see what we can do. But thanks for checking in. All right, it's been 30 minutes. We are currently at 61 degrees. We started at 30 degrees, so we've gone up 31 degrees in a half hour. Still hoping we can get to 70. I'm not really sure. If it runs past 45 minutes, I'm just going to call it quits because my wife's inside with the baby, and she might want some support, and I've just been hanging out here in my truck. So if we get past 45 minutes, we're just going to stop the test. We're going to see how high we can get it. I'd be content with 60 degrees. Doing this test as if you were, say, out snowboarding, maybe somewhere I live in the Northeast, so maybe snowboarding somewhere in New Hampshire. You come back for lunch because you don't want to buy a ski resort lunch because they cost like freaking $25 for some chicken tenders and some fries and one drink. So you come back to your truck, pop up your tent, run the diesel heater. That way you can get nice and toasty in here and just kind of hang out and eat your lunch, but still stand up, take your gear off. That's kind of what this test is made to replicate. Sorry for the sound change. My microphone died, and I don't want to get out and lose any heat. Also, we are at 63 degrees now, and it's been about 35 minutes. So it looks like we're climbing almost a degree a minute. We climbed a little faster at the beginning, but now it's slowing down a bit. Again, we're going to run this till 45 minutes to try to get to 70 degrees. If we don't get to 70 degrees in 45 minutes, then I'm going to have to call it quits because my wife's inside with the baby. I got to give her some help. One drawback I noticed of my diesel heater mounting design with the handle and the hook, the diesel heater is actually leaned up against the actual panel of my cap, and it kind of makes the clicking for the fuel pump reverberate around the tent. If that's something that bothers you, this might not be for you. You could even put like a rubber bushing in between them or something like that to kind of quiet it down, but that's just something to think about. The click from the deep fuel pump kind of resonates in the actual cap just because it's right up against the metal. All right, everybody, it's been 45 minutes and it is 68 degrees in here. Couldn't quite make it up to the 70 degrees, but we're gonna call it for that test. Actually, I'm just gonna move the thermometer because I have it down low at what might be one of the coldest parts of the actual tent and the cap. So I'm gonna move it there. Yeah, we're turning this thing down to level 1. I'm just kind of putting the thermometer there to see. Again, I'm gonna do a little quick, oh yeah, so as soon as I moved it up top, it is 70 degrees in here. So 45 minutes to make it to 70 degrees in here. All right, so that's the test of the actual cap and tent together. Much more space to heat up. It took 45 minutes for it to get to 70 degrees, but we made it there. So this is a much harder area to heat. It's just aluminum panels, so not quite as easy as the top section. But after this, I'm gonna go over the footage, kind of give a better idea of how it heated up and go over that with you guys. And yeah, I'll talk to you there. That way you can get some information on how this thing works. And again, it's a 25 degree. I think it's a little colder than 25 degrees outside, but that's the weather today. All right, everybody, I checked over the footage that was on the GoPro, made a couple charts. That way I have a better idea of basically the numbers we're working with. It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty much what I talked about in the video. The tent cap. Started at 25 degrees and got to 75 degrees around 14 minutes. It shows on the little chart that kind of takes a couple seconds. It heats up a little slow at first, but then it kind of picks up once it gets the chill out of the actual tent. And then I have the whole cap test, which is kind of the same way. The first couple minutes doesn't really heat up that much, and then it kind of steadily creeps up. It took a whole 48 minutes for it to get it to 70 degrees, but it eventually did make it there. But yeah, I'll put up both of the charts on the screen. That way you guys have like a visual representation of how quickly it heated both of them up. But it took 14 minutes for the tent to get to 70 degrees, and it took 48 minutes for the actual cap to get to 70 degrees. And the cap started at a slightly higher temperature. It started at 30 degrees. That concludes our VEVOR Suitcase diesel heater outside campers truck cap test. We tested the above 10 only portion, which is where you would be sleeping. That got to 75 degrees in 12 minutes. That heated up super duper quick. So if you want to use it just for sleeping, it's amazing. Heats it up really quickly. We heated the upper section and the lower section by lifting the sleeping platform. It got to 70 degrees, but it took about 45 minutes, a bit longer. But yeah, that's pretty much our test. We got some good data, and we know if I go camping in this, I won't freeze to death. A super important thing though is make sure you use your carbon monoxide detector when you're using this, especially if you're going to be going to sleep. That's like the most important thing. Make sure you use the carbon monoxide detector. That way you're safe. That's the most important thing. I have an affiliate link in the description for this actual diesel heater itself. I have the 3D model files for the handle and the hook that I use to mount them also in the description if anyone's interested. If anyone's interested in this cap, it's the Outside Campers brand cap that I'm going to be selling. Go on outside-campers.com or email me at tyler@outside-campers.com. I'll be glad to answer any questions. We have more on the way. They're going to be coming in hopefully within the next month or two. Super, super, super excited to that. I'm going to get the next ones and get them going. That way I have a demo model that I can show people and hopefully get some orders in to make truck campers affordable and accessible for people in the Northeast, because they're really not a thing around here. And these things are really cool, and I bet there's a lot of people around here who would like to buy one. If you would like to buy one, reach out to me. I'll help you out. And even if it's not what's best for you, I'd gladly be willing to inform you. Anything you want to know, reach out to me. That's fine. But yeah, I'm going to take this thing down and go inside and help my wife with our newborn, because I've been out here for an hour just playing with my truck, and she's probably not super happy about that. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. If you like this, please leave a like, subscribe. We're going to keep making videos. Hopefully they're informative, semi-entertaining. I appreciate everybody who watches. Thank you. Have a good day.